I am so flipping pleased to be here. Each time I forget how miraculous it is. And someone just told me that this is the single biggest gathering in Europe of people within a boundary. This is good. This is pure flipping human potential and power we're dealing with here. Yeah, we're here to feel good and to celebrate and to party and all this good shit. And here, the people in the back over there, if you're milling around by the stands or you're on the field, come down. Something beautiful is about to take place right here, right now. This is where you want to be. We're standing here because we need to come together. And there has never been a more important time than now to come together. We're standing at a crossroads in history. Science is telling us that we have very, very little time to make a drastic change to the way we live, the way we make our policies, and the way we move towards the future. So we have a very unique opportunity to shape and choose where we turn to next. This is what's standing here in front of you represents a coming together of many organizations and people from around the country and around the world who are standing here to say, this is the time, this is the moment, and this is the place to make these changes. Are you feeling powerful today? So there's going to be a beautiful procession of speakers and people who are going to be leading us towards the start of a procession. And the procession is going to be a procession both of mourning and celebration. But first of all, I'd like to introduce the first speaker. You've probably heard of the Amazon rainforest being spoken about as the lungs of the planet. As if the planet was a body and there were separate parts of it with separate organs of that body. The Amazon is really much more than that. It's the place where it regulates the water cycles of the entire planet. Really, recent science indicates that without the Amazon, this planet cannot support life at all. So when we think of the Amazon, we think of the heart of the planet, the skeleton, the bones, and the brain of the planet. It's really everything. So it's with great pleasure that I introduce our first speaker, who is an indigenous activist from Ecuador, who is fighting to protect the Amazon from oil companies. And he's going to lead us in a prayer and a song from his culture. His name is Kurakundi. Please make a lot of noise.
Buenas tardes a todos ustedes.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Gracias por venir a escuchar estos mensajes tan importantes.
Thank you for coming here to listen to these important messages.
Mi nombre es Purikindi y vengo de la Amazonía del Ecuador.
My name is Kurikindi, and I come from the Amazon rainforest in Ecuador.
Estoy aquí como parte del grupo de Wisdom Keepers.
I've been invited here today as part of the Wisdom Keepers group.
Hoy día voy a ofrecer a Pachamama y a ustedes una canción de la Amazonía.
And today I'm going to offer to Mother Nature and to all of you an Amazonian song.
Nos vamos a conectar con nuestra mente y nuestro cuerpo y nuestro espíritu con Pachamama.
So with Mother Nature, whilst I'm singing, you can now try to connect with yourself, with your spirit, with Mother Earth.
Cielo se mayuka sisa se sisa kadi yuyai wani yuyai kami shami kadi sungguh wani sungkan kadi yuyai aku shami Todos amamos la vida,
We all love life.
a nuestra familia,
We love our families.
amamos a nuestros amigos,
We love our friends.
amamos a los niños.
We love the children.
Este amor tenemos que extender a la tierra donde vivimos, a la tierra donde ponemos nuestros pies.
And this love we need to extend to the planet that we're on and to the earth beneath our feet.
En la Amazonía amamos los elementos.
In the Amazon, we love the elements, the four elements.
Y una de ellas es el elemento del agua.
One is the element of water.
En la Amazonía amamos al agua como a un bebé recién nacido.
And in the Amazon, we love the element of water just like we love a newly born baby.
Y no queremos contaminarla.
And we do not want to contaminate her.
Para mí es un honor estar aquí con todos ustedes.
It's a real honor for me to be here today in front of all of you.
Y doy gracias a la naturaleza por la oportunidad que me ha dado.
And I give thanks and I'm grateful to Mother Nature for giving me this opportunity.
Por favor, vamos a cerrar los ojos,
Please, for a moment, close your eyes.
conectarnos el uno al otro
Connect with one another
y conectarnos con la Madre Tierra.
and connect with Mother Nature.
Voy a ofrecerles un sonido de la Amazonía con mucho amor.
I'm going to offer and share with you now a little sound of the Amazon, and I do this with a lot of love.
con mucho amor desde la Amazonía. Por favor, no olvides cuando estás llenando una botella de agua.
So I sing this song with a lot of love. And please, don't forget that when you next fill your bottle of water,
Trata de conectarte,
try to connect with her.
porque el agua tiene energía
Because the water has its own energy
y vida también.
and its life as well.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Something I'm struggling to get my head around at the moment and try and get past this idea of nature as a faraway place and the Amazon as a faraway place that's inhabited by people unlike me. When Kurikindi is fighting to protect the Amazon, he's literally fighting to protect every single one of us standing here today. We need the water of the Amazon and the trees of the Amazon exactly as much as Kurikindi and the people around him there do. And the trees of the Amazon and the water of the Amazon are as much a part of our support system and our network of friends as each other here. That's something I'm trying to get my head around at the moment. We're going to stay with our focus on the Amazon, and our next speaker is one of the founders, or the founder of Amazon Watch, which is one of the biggest organizations fighting to conserve this vital organ of our planet. And the stakes are very high in the fight in the Amazon. So I'd like you to greet our next speaker with a huge amount of respect and gratitude. Her name is Atosa Soltani.
Good afternoon, Glastonbury. It's an amazing honor to be here. I'm invited here by the Wisdom Keepers. It's my first time here, and I'm grateful and very moved. Moved in this moment. How important this moment is for the future of all of us. Future of humanity and all life on this planet. I've been working in the Amazon since 1990, and in that time, I was awakened by the concept of Gaia. Gaia theory, which was coined over 40 years ago this year, that the Earth is intelligent, it's a living system. And it's something indigenous peoples have been telling us forever. And if you've heard from our wonderful moderator, Israel, that the Amazon is not just the lungs of the world, not only the lungs of the living Earth, it is also the heart. And I'm here to tell you a little bit about why. In the Amazon, which is larger than the face of a full moon, the largest rainforest on the planet, the trees, each mature tree lifts up 1,000 liters of water a day into the atmosphere in forms of geysers and vapor that together hundreds of billions of trees create these atmospheric rivers called flowing rivers that bring rain not only to the entire continent of South America but to the entire world. And in that they beckon the moisture, the trees beckon, summon the rain, and their trees then receive the rain and lift it back up, and in that process generate heat and generate a driving engine of the global weather system. That living system, that Gaia, the heart of the world, is the Amazon. You could cut off your arm and survive. Without the vital organs of our planet, we cannot survive. And that without the forest, without the Amazon rainforest and all of the tropical rainforests that cover an area around the equator, a green belt around the equator, the planet would not survive. That this forest is sacred to the indigenous people. They've always said that it's essential to life, and that we're losing the Amazon at the rate of 7 football fields per minute. And that in this lifetime we could see a collapse of the hydrological system. We've already raised the planet's temperatures 1 degree. Another degree would mean that 40% of the Amazon vegetation could not survive. We are in a dire emergency. We must respond with love, with creativity, with passion, with connection, with solutions. We know that the industry wants to drill for oil in the headwaters of this region for what would amount to 3 weeks worth of oil from the Amazon. And we are saying no. The indigenous peoples of this area are saying no. If we have to leave 80% of the world's fossil fuels reserves in the ground, the Amazon has to be the first place where fossil fuels are left in the ground. And we're working on an initiative called the Sacred Headwaters Initiative to protect the sacred headwaters of the Amazon, the source of the Amazon in Ecuador and Peru, from massive glaciers that rain and bring rain to the lowland forest and create this vast area of the Amazon that's the most biodiverse, where some 20 indigenous nations have united to say we want to leave fossil fuels in the ground, what would be over 2 billion metric tons of CO2 left in the ground. Another 3.8 billion metric tons of CO2 would be left in the forest. We would be contributing to the protection of our climate. We would be protecting the lungs and the heart of the planet. We would be connecting to the vital organs of the planet and bringing respect, livelihood, the flourishing of humanity, the flourishing of indigenous peoples, wisdom, the flourishing of the forest. And that's the goal of the Sacred Headwaters Initiative. And the next slide will give you a better sense. There is the Amazon, and the next slide will show you where the Sacred Headwaters is and what we must do. We must support the indigenous-led alliance to protect this area, to keep fossil fuels in the ground, to help define a new goal for humanity, the goal of being good ancestors to future generations, the goal of flourishing love of life, the goal of being cells in a living body of a living planet. Us cells, we are connected. Our hearts are connected to the heart of the world. And this is an invitation. Will you join me? Will you join me in committing to protect the heart of the world, from your heart, with love, to the heart of the Amazon rainforest? On social media, go to sacredheadwaters.org, sign up to get our updates. Help us bring resources and expertise and love and support to protecting the headwaters, to respecting the rights of nature, and to know that every drop of water is connected not only in the Amazon but to the river systems here. The headwaters of your rivers are connected to the headwaters of the Amazon. We are all one water system, one hydrological system. So protect your own headwaters, protect your rivers. There are efforts here that you can join to defend the rights of nature, to protect the headwaters and the river basins of the Brew River here, the Thames, and River Fruit. There are people working to get personhood to these rivers, to give rights of nature to these rivers. You can join that. You can go to the Global Alliance for the Rights of Nature and find out what you can do to protect ecosystems, forests, mountains, and the living, vital organ, the physiology of Gaia. Join me. Thank you so much and have a beautiful festival.
Thank you, Martha. And it's worth remembering we're not talking about a distant place, we're not talking about a distant time. We're talking about how inhabitable this planet is for us in our lifetimes, and our children and our grandchildren, but it's as urgent as us now. And I'm sure all of you have heard of the work of Greenpeace. Make some noise. They have been badass for an extremely long time, and I have a huge amount of respect for them. Please welcome Rosie Rogers, our next speaker. She runs the Climate Emergency Team for Greenpeace.
Feel right now. My name is Rosie and I run the Climate Emergency Team at Greenpeace. And this time, last Thursday, I was fitting on this dress and in the middle of the night, we put some climbers, some boat teams together, and we went and we occupied that rig. And we stopped that rig from going to the North Sea and drilling for oil that we cannot afford to take out of the ground. And we stopped that rig for 12 days. We forced those oil companies to come together for a crisis talk to talk about what they're going to do about our protest. When we know the only meeting they need to have is a meeting to decide when they're going to stop drilling for oil and either turn renewable or wind up their business. Greenpeace has been trying to protect a greener, peaceful world and fighting for our planet for over 50 years. But we've made some amazing wins on the way, but we are definitely not all the way there. We all know the fight that we have ahead of us. And right now, when I look across the climate movement, I feel hopeful and I feel grateful. I feel hopeful that all of us, in all of our different movements and identities, can come together and truly unite for what is the fight of our life to defend this planet. I also feel truly, truly grateful for the brothers and sisters all over the world, especially those in the global south, the Amazon and other places, who have given so much to protect this planet, and some of them even their lives. I'm sure many of you here have done an awful lot to try and make this planet a habitable place, but I ask you, we have to do more. And if you're hearing this kind of conversation for the first time, welcome to the family, and it's great to have you on board. So today we're here with words, with our feet, with our fists, and I ask you to double down on action. Get active, join a local group in your community, lobby your MP, get active on social media, take direct action if you can. Join the September mobilization that the school strikers have called for. Support your kids and your family that strike. Join the rebellion. Do whatever you can to help protect this planet. Greenpeace will be with you every step of the way. Let's do this.
Thank you, Rosie. So as I said before, this represents a uniting of many different people and many different organisations from around the UK and around the world, Greenpeace being a very important one. And we also have the recent and rebellious child of the environmental movement, Extinction Rebellion. And we're going to have a short film from Extinction Rebellion now.
Honouring a dear sister, Holly Higgins, a lawyer who was fighting for the ecocide law, who passed away in April. There's some signs around like this, and we'd really love you to take selfies with them, to sign up to be an earth protector, and to do the hashtag Stop Ecocide. Extinction Rebellion launched in October the 31st, which is Samhain. It's not a protest, it's not a campaign, it's a rebellion. We're in active rebellion against our government. The social contract is broken, the governments aren't protecting us, it's down to us now. Eight months later, because this thing wanted to be born, this wasn't created, it was ready to come. We're in 58 countries. There's over 130 formalised groups in the UK, growing all the time. And we did an 11-day occupation in London over 5 sites. And we had a fucking awesome time, right? Thank you to everybody who participated in that. Who's here who cleaned the piss buckets out at 4 o'clock in the morning? Thank you. This is not about any of us being special, this is really about all of us. It's about all of us. So there's been significant movement on the 3 demands of Extinction Rebellion. Let's be really clear, none of them have been met. So we've done a good job so far, let's celebrate that, but we've still got work to do. Tell the truth is the first demand. We're killing life on Earth. The government has declared a climate emergency, that's cool, but it's lip service when you follow it up with a target of 2050. And it's an ecological crisis as well. We have to look at biodiversity loss just as strongly. Our second demand is 2025 as the target date. Focus the mind. None of this kicking it into the long grass. I can tell you I've been on several panels today and in a select committee recently, and they're always trying to get people to say how stupid the Extinction Rebellion target is, and nobody says it. They all say no. In fact, Sir David King today was saying we've got to get the carbon out of the atmosphere. 1 degree is too much. We've got to get below that. So people are talking about this in a completely different way. A citizens' assembly has been announced. Good step in the direction of real democracy, but actually it's not legally binding. It's not about 2025, it's not about biodiversity, and it's not about justice, climate justice, both home and abroad. It needs to include departments like DEFRA, because the farmers actually are going to have a lot to do with this, with sorting out this issue. So we're going to be back on the streets in autumn. Come and visit us in the tent in Green Futures if you want to know more about that. I'm just loving the Red Rebels. We're getting some Red Rebels together in Stroud, by the way. I always said, myself and Roger Hammond, who started this thing with others, we're just nerds. And I always said that the artists got involved, then we'd see some movement. I love them. So here we are in these times. It's a time of waking up. This is not a slow movement of change, a slow progress. It's a shift in the consciousness of each of us, and it's a collective shift. It involves facing grief and trauma and undoing our numbness and our narcissism and our indulgence that we have in this privileged Western society. It's an unraveling, it's an uncomfortable process. It's like being told that you're going to die soon or your children are going to die, but it's worse than that, because I always thought there'd be a future. There might not be a future. It's incredibly hard to face that, but it's a transformative process, as is the process of deciding to be in active rebellion, of taking risks to be arrested if you have the privilege and ability to do that. So let's trust that process. We don't know what's coming, but you can trust that process. I see it in people, and it's a beautiful thing. The problem is systemic. It is about the economic system, but there's something below that that's deeply spiritual here, which is this nonsense that we've been taught, that we're about scarcity, that there's a scarcity and I'm in competition with you, and that we're separated from each other and from our own inner beliefs, and that we're powerless. The earth is abundant, everything gets reused, we're together, we're about love and connection, and we're actually really powerful. I find it really boring talking about the media and corporations and and trees, and that it's not about though, it's about us. When we know that we love each other and that we're together, this is when it works. That is where politics resides, is in the collective. That's where the power lies, in us together. So I sort of invite you to go on your own personal hero's journey at this time. I tell you, it's far more fun than all the other things that are on offer. Is to get yourself in good shape and decide you're going to make a difference. And really in these countries we have great privilege. I do know obviously about the systemic racism in the police, but when you compare that, what might happen here, to 47 deaths a month in other countries of environmental activists, we have a job to do here. It's time for us to take action and notice that we have great power. So this is a time of birthing. It's a time to come together and push. And I just want to ask us, what are we made of? We've seen something of what we're made of. What are we really made of? How far can we go? I think that this autumn we're going to succeed in pushing the 3 demands even further. But we'll have another job to do. This is my personal opinion, to take on the finance system. Because it's absolutely insane, and it's based on the scarcity, separation and powerlessness thinking. We're facing a time of choice between less democracy, the direction of fascism, the direction of hatred, the direction of war, or more democracy, people's assemblies, citizens' assemblies, realising that we can do this for ourselves. So it's time to really raise up the vision of our future together. It's going to be fucked, folks. I mean, things that we're going to have a lot of loss. We need each other to face that grief. We really need to feel each other. We need to feel the losses that are already happening. But it's a time to say that enough. We're going to stop the harm, and it's time to repair the harm that we've done. This is beyond the ecological now. This is about looking at what we've been doing to each other on all fronts. It's about reuniting in love and sharing. And I tell you what, when I was in Marble Arch, hanging out with strangers, eating vegan food from a kitchen that we've knocked up in the middle of a road that was supposed to have traffic on it, making music and chatting late into the night, thought, who the fuck wants to fly to Ibiza and have a burger, you know? So part of what we're doing is a sort of form of Gandhian, non-violent approach, the direct action, the being on the streets, all peaceful, all above ground. But it's really important to have a constructive programme, and what that means is it's the way that we organise that matters. The way we do it really counts. And in that means that we've got to think about how we organise, how we build what we call our self-organising system. It's actually a fractal, it's something that we're working out together. How do we deal with conflict? How do we bring in diversity? How do we work on anti-oppression? How do we decolonise? None of it's going to be simple, because what we're doing is trying to build a real democracy from a fucked up democracy. You can't actually do that in a democratic way. You have to take steps in that direction. And in that way, how we do the rebellion is prefigurative of the new society. So let's take our time to build this regenerative culture that we need, to chill out, to fall in love with each other, to be together, and do this in a really beautiful way. We need to find our courage, find each other, and reweave our human family. We need to remember that all the children of the world are our children. And it's about falling back in love with the earth. check business. So, when I say extinction, what do you guys say? Extinction! Extinction! So, we're just going to declare ourselves in rebellion again, folks. Some of you may not have done that already. Feel free to join us. It's shift. This is an initiatory process. It's unhooking ourselves from the system that we've all been part of. I'm going to read something and then in a minute you can join in. So the ecological crises that are impacting upon this nation and indeed this planet and its wildlife can no longer be ignored, denied nor go unanswered by any beings of sound, rational thought, ethical conscience, moral concern or spiritual belief. In accordance with these values, the virtues of truth and the weight of scientific evidence, we declare it our duty to act on behalf of the security and well-being of our children all across the world, our communities, and the future of the planet itself. So this is the repeating bit if you want to join me. We, in alignment with our conscience, and our reasoning, declare ourselves in rebellion against our government, and the corrupted, inept institutions that threaten our future. When government and the law fail to provide any assurance of adequate protection, I won't do such a long one next time. Too much drinking last night, isn't it? As well as security for its people's well-being. And the nation's future. It becomes the right of its citizens to seek redress. In order to restore dutiful democracy. And to secure the solutions needed to avert catastrophe. And protect the future. It becomes not only our right, it becomes our sacred duty to rebel. We hereby declare the bonds of the social contract to be null and void, which the government has rendered invalid by its continual failure to act appropriately. We call upon every principled and peaceful citizen to rise with us. We act in peace. With ferocious love of these lands. In our hearts. We act on behalf of life. Extinction!
Please make a lot of noise! This is scary stuff, but there's also never been a thing that's enlivened me more personally. I see the world in more vivid colours now. Now I see that there could be an end to it, and I appreciate it so much more. This is a moment in a way to look at the things we love and think about what is it we're trying to say. This isn't about distant generations, this is about now. And I get asked a lot when I do Extinction Rebellion or similar actions why I'm there, often by angry motorists. So I wrote this in order to have something to respond to them with. And it's really simple. I say all together now, and you lot go, we. All together now! All together! sensing a strength here, I'm sensing a strength. I'm sensing a strength here, I'm sensing a strength. I'm sensing a strength here, I'm sensing a strength. I am here for the smell of plums, the smell of leaves, the smell of a polished trombone. I am here for the smell of home. I am here for home. I remember when I looked outside and calmly picked my nose and thought of all the places we would go. So I am here for the smell of plums. I am among the desperate ones. I'm here for the taste of garlic, the bass, the drums, the curve of your neck. I am here for the feel of feet in sand, for the smell of sex. I'm here for Billy's baby, Dan's baby, Dexter, Salome. I am here for Nina, I am here for Nina, and I cannot break. I am here for you. I am definitely here for me. I wake and I can't go back to sleep. My tongue is covered in seeds, and I will do whatever this needs. May I be summarized by the sum of my deeds. I cannot sleep, and I will do whatever Nina needs. You can take my MacBook Pro. You can take my Actonel. You can take my Skyborne buses and my shining teeth. You can take my Whatsits and my NCP. My extras, my Uber. You can take my hair gel, my styling clay, my holiday, my contact-free card, my hologram sticker of a Kenyan giraffe, my watch winking in the dark. You can take my arty abstractions, take my WhatsApp appliance, my easel access, my pocket full of bloody science, my whirly gigabytes of GPS. Leave Eminem circling his car park yelling. I am here for the smell of rain. Take my cellophane, my sellotape, my melatonin. I want to go home with a future. I want to go home to a future. I want to lie down tonight with a future in me. Because I wake and I can't sleep. I wake and I can't sleep. I've woken and I can't sleep. And I will do whatever this needs. Because I'm sensing a strength here, I'm sensing a strength. I'm sensing a strength here, I'm sensing a strength. I'm sensing a strength here, I'm sensing a strength. I'm sensing a strength here, I'm sensing a strength. And we were always all together now, we. And we are all together now, we. And we are all together now, we. And we are all together now, we. So take that and make me think of the person that you love most, and the things that you love most, and the reason why you woke up this morning and decided to do the day. What made this day worth living? What makes this world worth saving? What it is about the people around you that makes you love them so fucking much. Because this is what we're here to say. This is what we're thinking. And we're here for the things we have lost as well. But we're here for the people and the things and the creatures we wish to save. And with these things in mind, and with that ferocious love in our hearts, we're going to process now. And we're going to start from, if you turn around and look, you can see the entrance to the park over there where it says the park in reverse, between those two pillars. Going to between those two pillars, you will see a pink boat. And the pink boat is both the symbol of our defiance and the symbol of our hope and our courage. It was the boat that was moored in Oxford Circus during the rebellion. Or at least, it's the child of that boat. And with that love in our hearts and with the people that we love in our minds, we're going to process from there and we're going to follow the pink boat. And I'll see you on the march. Thank you so much for listening and joining the rebellion.
help us make this statement about climate change. This area it's not a performance, it's a statement. Will the people here please join the Human Extinction Rebellion sign? All around here. I can join the sign.
Guys, if you want to be part of the phone station, you come into the tram line, please.
Take your places between the yellow lines. The sign's very clear now, so just join it and make it really tidy around the edges.
Let's all join the sign. Woo! Ah,
Guys, if you want to be part of the picture, can you get into the tram line, please?
Come on, tidy up nicely around the edges there so the sign's really clear when the helicopter comes over.
I can see you. Here. So we're hoping it's going to be the largest ever.
Of many movements that also happen around the world and also in Colombia. Colombia, we're facing very difficult difficulties.